Chapter 781. 2 uneventful weeks went by. Olivia was satisfied with Logan's performance. He was basically a ghost. During the day, he would be in the yard when she was in the house. He wouldn't even enter the living room, much less the master bedroom. He would only return to his room after Olivia was asleep. The following day, he would already be exercising in the yard when Olivia woke up. Whenever she wanted to go out, she would call for him, and he would push her wheelchair. Occasionally, they would go out shopping at the supermarket. Other times, they would take a walk around the neighborhood. Logan rarely talked. He would only speak up when absolutely necessary. So, most of the time, people would even forget he existed. That was until one day when he suddenly knocked on the glass door outside the living room. Olivia opened the door and looked at him calmly. "What is it?" A flash of awkwardness flashed on his blank face. "Miss Fordham, I saw a kitten outside. It looked kind of sad. Should we adopt it?" Olivia put her book down with a surprised expression. "A cat." Logan's hands were behind his back. He slowly pulled his hands to the front and revealed the cat. His palms were big, and the kitten was tiny. It was a newly born white kitten. A bit of its ear was missing, like some animal bit it off. The teeth marks were still fresh. Tears welled up in Olivia's eyes when she saw the kitten. It looked exactly like Snowball, down to the color of its pupils and its damaged ear. When she thought about Snowball, she could still see its cold carcass falling next to her from above. Olivia felt a pang in her heart. She slowly reached out, trying to touch the kitten. But she was being wary as if her touch would hurt the kitten. Olivia had been pretty emotionally but she was completely worked up at the moment, with a complicated expression on her face. "I'm sorry, Miss Fordham. I didn't know you disliked cats. I'll get it out of here immediately." The kitten was still purring. Olivia exclaimed frantically, "Don't throw it out. Give it to me." She grabbed the kitten from Logan's grasp. The kitten's fur was soft. It was a bit dirty, but its eyes were innocent and pure. The kitten observed Olivia curiously. It wasn't afraid of her at all. Olivia asked in a whisper, "Snowball, have you come back to me?" Logan was puzzled. "Miss Fordham, do you know this cat? I had a pet cat that looked like this kitten." Olivia carried the kitten in her arms lovingly. Logan reminded, "Miss Fordham, if you want to adopt it, we should probably bring it to a veterinarian. This kitten is probably a stray. We can get it treated if it has any health issues. Besides, it needs to be cleaned." "Okay, can I leave this to you?" "Never mind, I'll go with you." Olivia was treating the kitten like the second coming of Snowball. There was finally some joy on her face. "We'll go to a vet now." "Okay, Miss Fordham, I'll make preparations now." "Hold on a moment." Olivia had the kitten in her arms throughout the entire drive. She didn't mind that the kitten was dirty. She smiled tenderly as she patted the kitten. Logan said, "Miss Fordham, I've heard people say that sometimes people or things you lose would come back to you eventually." Chapter 782. The first thing that appeared in Olivia's mind after Logan said that wasn't Snowball. It was Ethan's face. She was so stunned that she trembled. Logan slowly added, "Maybe your cat has come back for you. Every meeting is meant to be. Perhaps your cat has returned to you in a different form." Olivia's brows unfurrowed. That explanation made her feel better. Everyone should have a new chance at life. Snowball was like that. She was the same. When they arrived at the veterinarian clinic, the veterinarian performed a thorough check on the kitten. He noticed that Olivia was very tense the whole time. She was worried that the kitten might have a weak immune system. It would be bad if it was infected with something like the feline panleukopenia when it was a stray. The veterinarian took off his gloves and reassured her, "Don't worry. The kitten is in good health. It's just a little dirty. It doesn't even have ear mites. We just need to clean it up and vaccinate it. Miss, please wait while I take the kitten for a bath." "All right." Olivia waited outside the room, but her eyes were fixed on the kitten the whole time as she looked at it through the window. It was because she had lost Snowball before that she cherished the new kitten. Olivia had the kitten in her arms the entire way home. In her eyes, the kitten was Snowball. The kitten was very close with Olivia, too. It would either play right next to her or follow her around everywhere. Even when they sleep at night, the kitten would be in her arms. Olivia felt like a piece of her heart had been restored. For some reason, she kept feeling like someone was looking at her at night. She didn't know if she was just imagining it. She felt it again, so she quickly opened her eyes. But no one was there. Her curtains weren't drawn, so she could see what was going on in the yard. It was quiet there. Upon closer inspection, she could see someone under the plum tree. It was Logan, but Logan wasn't looking at her. Snowball was no longer sleeping next to her. It had gone out to the yard. Under the dim lights, Logan crouched on the ground and played with Snowball. The normally quiet man had a gentle expression. He was also holding a cat teaser in his hand. The man and the cat were having a lot of fun together. Olivia didn't expect such a burly man like Logan to have a soft side to him. For a split second, Logan's crouching position reminded Olivia of Ethan. She quickly dispelled the unrealistic thought from her mind. That was impossible. Ethan never liked cats, while Logan seemed to like Snowball a lot. Olivia thought she was becoming deranged. Why did everyone look like Ethan to her? Logan was obviously slenderer than Ethan. He was also very quiet and honest, unlike the dignified demeanor that Ethan had. It was clear that Logan liked cats, but he didn't dare to show it when Olivia was around in the day. So he could only play with Snowball in the middle of the night. No wonder Snowball had been sleepy during the day recently. Olivia wasn't drowsy anymore, so she got off the bed. Snowball purred and ran toward Olivia when it noticed her. Logan didn't expect Olivia to wake up. He quickly stood up with an anxious expression. "Miss Fordham, I'm sorry. I rouse you from your sleep?" Snowball came out to play, so I played with it for a little. Olivia smiled. "It's fine. I slept too much during the day. Continue playing with Snowball. It likes you a lot. Maybe it just likes the cat teaser you bought." Logan scratched his head, looking embarrassed. Chapter 783. Olivia wondered why she would relate an honest man like Logan to Ethan. "Do you like cats?" "Yeah, I had a pet cat back in my hometown when I was young. But we never fed it anything special, just leftovers." Olivia had been putting on a stiff expression on most days, but she finally smiled at that moment. "If you like it, you should play with it more often. Kittens have a lot of energy, and I am sick. So I can't play with Snowball too much." Olivia's legs were still in bad condition. She still couldn't crouch. If she moved too much, she would start to feel dizzy. It was a good thing Snowball was very well behaved near her. It would lay quietly on her things and keep her company. Logan scratched his head. "If you don't mind, Miss Fordham, I can take care of Snowball. Thanks for putting up with my requests. It's no trouble at all. Are you going to be sitting here for some more time?" Logan looked at her. "Yeah, one moment." Logan went to the living room, took a blanket, and draped it around her. "I heard Mr. Rogers say you were very sick. Although it doesn't snow here during winter, it is still pretty cold. You have to be careful not to catch a cold." Olivia was stunned as she looked at the blanket. She didn't know what to feel. She raised her head to see Logan standing in place anxiously. "Miss Fordham, did I do something wrong?" Olivia shook her head. "No, I was just thinking about something." It was rare that they got a chance to hold a conversation. Logan mustered up the courage to ask, "What were you thinking about, Miss Fordham?" "I was just thinking about how you showed concern for me even though we barely know each other. Meanwhile, the people that were close to me only hurt me repeatedly." "Why is it so?" Logan sat down some distance from Olivia. While playing with Snowball, he said, "I had a female cat at home when I was a child. I watched its stomach grow, and I looked forward to the birth of her kittens. When that happened, I didn't sleep for the entire night. I feared the kittens would be in danger because they were left outside. So I took them into a little nest I made for them when their mother wasn't looking. The funny thing is we were living in poverty in that village. Most people in the village don't even have enough food or clothes. The winter winds were freezing. So, I used my own sweater to make the nest for the kittens. I also prepared clean water and food for them. Guess what happened?" "What happened?" "My kindness doomed the kittens. The new nest caused them to carry different scents. The mother was very sensitive and suspicious after birth. She thought she was placed in a dangerous environment, so she killed all the kittens. Snowball finally grabbed the cat teaser. Then, Logan looked at Olivia. "So, do you think I didn't love the kittens enough, Miss Fordham?" Olivia didn't have a response to that. He added, "It's not that I didn't love them, quite the contrary. I loved them too much. I did everything in my power to give them the best life. But my actions caused them to be killed. I was devastated when they died. I think the person you're talking about might be the same as me. He loved you too much and ended up hurting you." Olivia was at a loss for words. Logan saw that the atmosphere got tense. He quickly apologized. "I'm sorry, Miss Fordham. I overstepped. I shouldn't have brought up the past like." "It's okay. I couldn't sleep and was bored anyway. I don't mind chatting with you. You must have been to many places, right?" "Yes. Even though I don't have much money, I've been to many places." "What do you want to hear about, Miss Fordham?" "Anything is fine. I don't mind listening to stories about interesting people or events." Chapter 784. Have you seen a cave full of fireflies? It was so beautiful. The fireflies were like stars in the sky. There was also a place called the Earth's Eye. It's a colorful lake that looks like an eye when you look down from above. There's a place called Death Gorge. Have you heard of it? There are also glaciers in the North Pole that flow into the valleys. They form ice falls that cascade down the side of the valleys. It is truly an amazing view. Olivia's eyes were filled with yearning as she listened. How nice would it be if I could see these sceneries in person? It's embarrassing, but I've never been to many places. It's okay, Miss Fordham. You'll be fine. I've seen many people with terminal diseases survive miraculously. I'll bring you to these places when you get better, as long as you pay me. How about that? A breeze blew and sent shivers down Olivia's spine. She pulled the blanket tighter around her. Then, she raised her hand and caught a falling plum blossom. Snowball became excited and started chasing falling plum blossoms around. It was a very serene atmosphere. Olivia smiled. I'll visit these places someday. The world was a big place. She wanted to visit many places. Do things that she had never done. She also wanted to look for her missing twins. As her mood improved, the days were more tolerable. Keith was relieved to see her complexion improve. So, the frequency of his visits declined. At the end of the month, Keith and Irene held their engagement ceremony. Although they didn't exactly come from the most prestigious families, they still hailed from families of renowned medical professionals. Many people showed up to congratulate the couple. Olivia wanted to attend, too. But she didn't dare to risk it. She didn't want the Millers to find her. So, she could only wait at home and look at the pictures and videos Irene sent her. Irene also talked to her in a proud and happy voice. I really wish you could be here, Olivia. Olivia zoomed in on the picture. Irene had a bright smile and a hopeful glow in her eyes. Keith stood beside her. He was tall and handsome. There was a faint smile on his face, too. Olivia could feel the happiness emanating from them from the photos. It brought a smile to her face, but tears suddenly started to flow as she was smiling. The tears fell on her phone's screen. She could see her past self in Irene. She was also excited and happy when she registered her marriage with Ethan at the city hall. When the photographer took a picture of them that day, she thought that would be how it was for the rest of her life. Who knew things would turn out the way they did? Two people who loved each other ended up becoming strangers, never to be reunited. The love was gone, replaced by seething hatred and crippling grief. She looked at the sky as tears streamed down her face. She was reminiscing about the youth she lost. Suddenly, a glass of lemonade appeared before her. She raised her head and saw Logan. He was carrying several bags of groceries. He had a sincere smile on his face. Miss Fordham, I bought these at the supermarket just now. I heard that young women love. I thought you would love it, too, since you're still very young. Why are you crying? Olivia wiped her tears and said, It's nothing. I was just happy for Dr. Rogers and Irene. I hope they can live happily ever after. There are too many couples that love each other but end up separating. I hope they can break the curse and stay together for the rest of their lives. You're being so sentimental now, Miss Fordham. Did you love someone with such vigor in the past? Chapter 785. Olivia touched the cup of lemonade with her fingers. The lemonade was cold, so there were water droplets on the cup. It felt cold to the touch. She didn't answer the question. Instead, she asked, "What about you? You don't look that young. You must have someone you love, right?" Logan smiled brightly and didn't try to keep it a secret. "Yeah, I met a woman a long time ago. I was very poor, and I was injured. But she didn't care about all that and saved me. It was love at first sight for me." What happened next? Other people's stories were always nice. They wouldn't make Olivia feel sad. Nothing. She was a good woman. Someone like me, who would do anything for money, wasn't worthy of her. She was like the moon, forever out of reach. I'm happy to keep her in my memories. You never told her how you felt. Logan looked up to the moon that was almost completely hidden behind clouds. Olivia couldn't see his face. Logan paused for a few seconds before replying, "I didn't. She was so perfect, like she belonged in the heavens. I could only admire from afar. If I ever got closer to her, I'm afraid that I might hurt her." Olivia smiled. "Even if you understand, you shouldn't hurt the one you love. But some people just can't seem to get it. Actually, I didn't understand this in the past. I only realized my mistake after that litter of kittens died. I know that too much love would be detrimental. So, I am satisfied with admiring her from afar. Where is the woman now? Is she living a good life?" For some reason, Olivia thought of herself. Logan took a good look at Olivia. Olivia thought she was imagining it, but there seemed to be a dark gleam in Logan's eyes. "Yeah, she is doing well. Is the person you mentioned your lover?" Logan changed the subject. Olivia also told the truth. "He was, in the past. I loved him a lot. What about now?" "Not anymore." Snowball purred. Logan had been scratching Snowball, but he suddenly increased the pressure. "So," the kitten called out in dissatisfaction. Logan lowered his head to check. The kitten bit his fingers in anger, but he didn't resist. Snowball was still very small, but its teeth were sharp. The bite left 2 little injuries on Logan's fingers, and they started to bleed. He ignored the injury and asked, "Since he used to be so important to you, why did you stop loving him?" There wasn't a point in loving him anymore. Olivia didn't want to talk about Ethan anymore, so she got up to go back to her room. Suddenly, a series of crackling sounds can be heard overhead. Olivia stopped in her tracks and saw fireworks being set off a small distance away. She remembered that the fireworks were set off in the direction of the hotel where Keith's engagement ceremony was held. Those fireworks were probably to celebrate the occasion. She stood under the palm tree as she gazed at the fireworks. "Do you like fireworks, Miss Fordham?" Olivia replied calmly, "It's only natural to like things that are pretty. But as pretty as they are, fireworks burn out very quickly. Soon, the night sky will return to being calm, like nothing ever happened. Even so, at least the beauty is preserved in our memories, and we will remember it for a long time." Olivia shook her head in resignation. "That's true, but I don't think I would live long enough to see the day." She never did get a fireworks show for herself. Ethan prepared fireworks show for Marina and Connor, but never for her. She wasn't angry, just sad that it never happened. Logan set Snowball down and draped the jacket he had prepared on her. "The show will last for quite some time. This will keep you warm." "Thanks." Suddenly, Olivia asked, "What day is today?" Chapter 786. Logan promptly replied, "It's the 22nd. "Why?" Olivia almost forgot that it would be the first anniversary of Jeff's death in a few days. The weather was completely different in this country, so her perception of time was blurred. "Prepare some flowers for me." "All right, Miss Fordham." She couldn't return to Arlandia, but she still wanted to commemorate Jeff on the first anniversary of his death. Logan wasn't only obedient, he was very efficient as well. Not only did he bring back flowers, he also got a cat-themed knitted hat. Olivia noticed that Logan would bring something back for her whenever he went on errands. Sometimes, it would be lemonade. Other times, It would be candy. It was actually a hat this time. Olivia didn't take it. Logan explained, "Please don't misunderstand, Miss Fordham. Mr. Rogers paid me very well. I thought you were being too gloomy, so I just wanted to buy things for you to cheer you up. They aren't worth a lot, so I hope you don't hate them." Seeing how anxious he was, Olivia gradually started to understand his personality. He was cold on the outside but warm and gentle on the inside. She took the hat and smiled. "Thanks, I like it. I'm glad that you like it. I just think you're different from my past employers. If I treat you better, will you not fire me?" Olivia chuckled. "I used to think you liked keeping to yourself. Now I know, you're just a little slow. Would anyone admit aloud that they want to be a people pleaser?" Logan smiled. "People or reciprocal, if I treat you well, wouldn't you remember what I've done for you when you decide to let me go, Miss Fordham?" "Yeah, you've done so much for me. Don't worry, I have no intention of firing you." A twinkle appeared in Logan's eyes as he went to the car. Olivia wanted to commemorate the death of a loved one. So, she asked Logan to bring her to a beach with no one around. The sun hadn't set yet. She sat in her wheelchair and looked at the sea quietly. Logan was standing next to her. For some reason, she felt Logan was tense, like he was constantly on guard, as if he was afraid she would fall into the sea. She looked at the hand holding onto the wheelchair, which was grasping so tightly that veins were popping. "I'm just enjoying the breeze. Why are you so nervous?" Logan smiled awkwardly. "I thought your expression wasn't right. I thought you might do something rash. Aren't you a truthful one?" "Don't worry, I fought hard to live. I won't try to kill myself." She still had so many things she needed to do. She didn't want to die yet. "I just wanted to look at the sea. Her child died in the ocean. He would be old enough to run after her and call her Mom, if he were still alive." The sky was gradually getting darker. The winds were also getting stronger. Logan urged, "Miss Fordham, why don't we start now?" "All right." Olivia couldn't crouch, so she sat in her wheelchair while Logan helped her set the flowers down. A breeze blew, and some petals danced in the wind. Olivia gazed at the petals as they flew away. "Dad, are you watching over me from above?" "Don't worry, I'm doing fine." She was more emotionally stable than before. She sat for a while longer as she looked at the flowers. Then, Logan urged, "Miss Fordham, it's getting late. We should head back. It's windy on the beach. Let's go." Logan started to push her wheelchair. Suddenly, he said excitedly, "Miss Fordham, look over there." Dazzling fireworks shot up into the sky, blooming into a magnificent flower. Chapter 787. The fireworks shot up into the sky and made exploding sounds as they burst. The last time there was such a beautiful fireworks show was on Connor's birthday. Marina spent a lot of money to hire professionals to set up that show. It was a pity that Olivia wasn't in the mood to enjoy the show back then. The most beautiful fireworks show she had seen happened when she was 15 years old. Jeff arranged a show for her. 15 years old was an age when she had no worries. She was a genius who hadn't been hurt and was hopeful for the future. Back then, Jeff was elegant and gentle. He was her loving father. She could still remember that many people showed up at the Fordham residence. All of them were there to celebrate her birthday. Snowball was nuzzling against the plum tree and looking at the fireworks above. Jeff said gently, "If you like it, I'll hold a party like this for you every year." But that was the last time she ever had a party like that. She only recalled Jeff's death anniversary, but she forgot that her birthday was coming tomorrow. 4 years ago, she was pregnant. Initially, she thought Ethan would take care of the preparations for her birthday. But he didn't even show up the entire day. Olivia thought he was just busy, so she went into the kitchen to cook up a feast and waited for him to come home. In the end, he didn't come back. Instead, she saw trending news of Ethan and Marina sharing a candlelit dinner. It was the middle of summer, but Olivia felt a chill that consumed her. What followed was the series of incidents that happened during their divorce. She didn't have the time to celebrate her birthday. So, she forgot about it eventually. She only realized she hadn't celebrated her birthday in 4 years when she saw the words, "Happy Birthday," in the sky. Olivia watched the fireworks show in silence. It lasted for 30 minutes. There was even a drone performance. There was a huge cruise ship in the distance. The person for whom the fireworks show was for would probably be on that ship. After the fireworks were gone, the world fell silent once again. Olivia could only hear the waves crashing onto the shore. Your expression was solemn, Miss Fordham. What were you thinking about? Olivia smiled bitterly. Nothing. I just thought of my own birthday when I saw another person's birthday celebration. Your birthday is today. Why didn't you tell me? I'll go get a cake for you. No need. I haven't celebrated my birthday for years now. It's cold here on the beach. Let's head back. Logan didn't say anything else as he pushed her back toward the car. It might be because they were on the beach for too long. Olivia sneezed as soon as she got in the car. Logan quickly adjusted the temperature in the car. Even after they arrived home, Olivia was still feeling down. Tasha slept very early. She was lights out at 8 p.m. Olivia went back to her room for a while. Snowball was a cunning cat. It would keep Olivia company before she fell asleep. But after she fell asleep, Snowball would sneak outside and play with Logan. A few times, when Olivia woke up in the middle of the night, she would see Logan playing with Snowball. She washed up and lay quietly in bed. Subconsciously, she took out her phone and searched for information about Ethan on Arlandian social media platforms. Recent news about him mentioned that he had gone to Buckburg to help with disaster relief efforts. Olivia turned off her phone. She felt like Ethan had completely changed after she faked her death. He was the successor of the Miller estate, but he wasn't even focused on work. He had been going all over the place and was committed to doing charity and welfare activities. Did he think that would bring her back to life? Or was he just trying to ease the guilt he was feeling? Olivia wasn't interested. She didn't want to know. Her relationship with him was a thing of the past. She turned off the lights and went to sleep. It was a habit she adopted after countless sleepless nights. Olivia turned to her side and looked at the view outside the window. She was counting the days until she would recover. She was dying to return to Arlandia to look for her children. Suddenly, someone knocked on her door. Chapter 788. Olivia quickly looked toward the door. What's wrong? Logan usually abided by the rules and wouldn't bother her when she was resting. Miss Fordham, are you asleep? I'm sorry to bother you. Olivia wasn't asleep yet, so she figured she might as well see what Logan wanted. She got up and made herself presentable before she opened the door. Her voice trailed off abruptly. Logan was holding a cake with some candles on it. The candlelight illuminated his face and flickered in his eyes. It might be a little late, Miss Fordham, but birthdays are important. You shouldn't ignore them. It was exactly 11:59 p.m. at the moment. Logan probably made the cake himself. There were still traces of flour and cream on his face. Thanks. Olivia was moved. It's almost 12 a.m. You should make a wish and blow the candle out, Miss Fordham. She didn't make a fuss and quickly closed her eyes to make her wish. She wanted to be reunited with her children as soon as possible. She blew the candles out after she made her wish. The time was 12 a.m. The room fell into darkness after the candles were blown out. For some reason, she felt like Logan's voice was more solemn in the dark. One moment. I'll go turn on the lights. Be careful not to fall over. The lights were switched on. Olivia noticed that there was a plate of pasta on the table. Miss Fordham, it was a tradition back in our hometown to eat some pasta on our birthdays. Logan explained. Olivia didn't expect him to do so much for her while she was resting. You don't really have to do all these for me. I still need to express my gratitude to you for giving me a job. Or else I won't be able to fund my mother's retirement. A cake and some pasta aren't that much trouble. The only issue is that this is my first time baking a cake. I had to follow a tutorial to make it. It might not be good. The cake might be a little burnt. You can just eat the pasta. Olivia didn't have the heart to turn down his kindness. Okay. They went to sit at the table. Olivia looked at the pasta that looked and smelled delicious. The first thought that came to her mind was still Ethan. He made a plate of pasta for her on her birthday once. That was when they were just married. Back then, He would go on business trips occasionally. She thought he wouldn't be able to make it in time for her birthday. But he woke her up at 11:50 p.m. and handed her a plate of pasta. He said it would bring good luck if she ate pasta on her birthday. She laughed at him for being a superstitious old geezer and finished the dish joyfully. He did love her a lot back then. He also gave her whatever she wanted. That was why she would still think about him despite all the things he had done to her. What's wrong? Does it taste bad? Olivia took a few more bites and said, "No. It tastes pretty good. Thank you for being so thoughtful. I'll be sure to add a bonus to your pay this month." Logan scratched his head. "You're so generous. Thank you in advance, Miss Fordham. I'm the one who should thank you." Olivia continued to eat the pasta. Logan asked softly, "Are you going to eat the cake? I kind of failed at it. Can I eat it? I don't want it to go to waste." Olivia looked at that tiny cake. It was a simple one with some words written in cream, wishing her a happy birthday and good health. Logan wasn't good with words. The words were also slightly distorted. Olivia smiled. "Sure, but leave a slice for me. I wouldn't want your efforts to go to waste." Okay. It was midnight. Olivia and Logan were eating cake and pasta. It was a simple gesture, but her mood improved immensely. She went to the yard to sit for a little before returning to her room, satisfied. "Thanks for today." Before she could close the door, Logan suddenly held the door open and said, "Please wait." Chapter 789. Olivia looked at him in confusion. "Is there anything else?" Logan took something out of his pocket. He said shyly, "How can you not get a present for your birthday?" "This is something I got for myself back when I was out and about, working different jobs. It's a lucky charm that has kept me alive through several close calls. So, I want to give it to you, Miss Fordham." Logan held a crescent-shaped pendant in his palm. "That won't do. It's your lucky charm. How can I possibly take it from you?" Logan put the pendant in her hand and said, "Take it. I'm not taking on any dangerous jobs anyway. I hope it brings you some good luck. It's nothing too precious, so I hope you won't dislike it." Olivia saw that he was adamant about this, and it was a kind gesture. "Thanks. I'll gladly accept it." After she closed the door, she examined the pendant closely. The necklace wasn't gold or silver but colored threads. She didn't even know what material the pendant was made of. It didn't seem like plastic or look like any type of gemstone. The design looked nice. She also wished for a healthy body, so she hung the pendant around her neck. Olivia wanted nothing else. She just wanted to lead a peaceful and healthy life. She slept soundly that night. Her interactions with Logan remained the same. He didn't try to get closer to Olivia just because he helped her celebrate her birthday. He still kept her instructions to heart. When nothing was going on, he would stay far away from her and never approach. After 2 more months of rest, 3 months had passed since she ended chemotherapy. The side effects lessened considerably. Olivia was no longer bound to her wheelchair. She could walk again. So, there wasn't a need to keep Logan around anymore. She checked online and realized that Ethan was still in Buckburg, which meant that was the best time for her to return to Aldenvine. On that day, Keith and Irene came to visit her. She told them her request. She wanted to go back to Aldenvine by ship. If she were smuggled into the city, it would lower her chances of being found out. "Why do you want to go back? Is there anything you're unhappy about here?" "No, I am very happy here. But I have something very important that I have to do back there." "Keith, you're the only one that I can count on." Irene shook her head. "No, Olivia, I won't object to your leaving after 6 months. But it has only been 3 months. I'm worried about you. Besides, isn't Aldenvine a sad place for you? Why do you want to go back there?" "There's a reason why I must go back." Olivia couldn't tell them what it was. The two of them couldn't help but agree because they couldn't convince her to stay. They were also afraid that she would sneak off by herself. "Give me a few days. I'll help arrange the trip for you. You have to be prepared, too. Going by the sea route isn't that simple. If it's a cargo ship, you might be on the sea for a couple of months. The waters can get very rough. Will you be able to handle it?" "Yes," She could handle any hardship if it were for the sake of being reunited with her children. She had to go back to Aldenvine even if it was raining knives. She had already missed the most important years of her children's lives. All she wanted was to make it up to them. Since you've already made up your mind, we won't force you to stay. Wait for my word. Thanks. Olivia looked at Logan, who was playing with Snowball in the yard. She hesitated briefly before saying, Logan is a good man. I don't need a bodyguard anymore. Can you get him a good job? As if sensing her gaze, Logan looked at her through the window and smiled at her. Chapter 790. Keith agreed to her request and promised to sort everything out. Olivia was genuinely grateful for everything he had done for her. On that day, Olivia asked Tasha to make a whole spread of food. She even invited Logan to eat with her. Logan stood at the side anxiously, clearly realizing something was about to happen. Sit down and eat with me. But your rules. Sit. Logan didn't argue. He sat at the table with his back straightened. He didn't eat. Instead, he asked, Miss Fordham, do you not need me anymore? In the past week, Olivia no longer needed a wheelchair. Other than tailing her from a distance, his only function was to help carry stuff. Olivia had noticed long ago. Logan might seem a little slow, but he actually paid attention to detail. I can already take care of myself on a daily basis. It's a waste of your talents to keep working for me. Don't worry, I've asked Mr. Rogers to find you a good job. Olivia set those rules initially because she didn't want to get close to anyone. But after several months of companionship, she couldn't just drive Logan away like a stranger. She did notice all his effort. You're not that young anymore. Stop working dangerous and illegal jobs. There are plenty of ways to make money. You're a good person. Find a good job and settle down. Getting married and having offspring will do you a lot of good. Logan sat in silence as he listened to Olivia. Then he said, all right. Understood. Olivia didn't know if she had struck a chord with him. The atmosphere became tense, so she didn't say anything else and finished the meal in silence. As he got up, Logan suddenly asked, when are you planning to travel? In a week, Olivia said, then she quickly froze. She never told Logan that she was going away. But he had guessed what she was going to do. He even used such a method to get information from her and made her tell him the truth when she was not on guard. Logan met with her surprised gaze and explained, I have known for some time that your heart doesn't belong here, Miss Fordham. You would always gaze at the sky like a bird in a cage. You wanted to escape the cage, but your sickness was like the chain that was holding you down. Now that you're feeling better, you can't wait to leave. Olivia smiled in resignation. I couldn't have said it better myself. No matter which path lies ahead of you, I hope you can be safe. Logan bowed and left. Olivia felt complicated emotions as she watched him leave. She couldn't really describe how she was feeling. Just like how he came, Logan left without dragging things out. Snowball didn't know that he was not coming back and tried to follow him. But Logan closed the door on it. Snowball was much bigger now. It sat beside the door and tilted its head in confusion, wondering why Logan didn't bring it along on the errand. Its bright eyes were filled with confusion. Olivia looked on as Logan walked away. All things come to an end eventually, and as long as you care about them, whether a person or an animal, you will feel sad when it is time to say goodbye. She walked over to Snowball and lifted it into her arms. She rubbed its head lovingly with her fingers. Snowball, he's gone. He won't be coming back. When Snowball heard that, it actually broke free of Olivia's grasp and jumped out. It disappeared from her sight.